Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new, and welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. This week's What's for Dinner video is a collab with Bethany from over at Budget Bethany. Make sure to go check out her channel when you leave my video. I will put a link to her channel and her What's for Dinner video in the description box below. Now let's get into my week of What's for Dinner. This meat is ground chuck. I just noticed I requested ground beef, but they gave me ground chuck, which I'm okay with that. I just prefer the more fatty ground beef over the ground chuck, but it's totally okay. All right, my hands are clean. I'm just gonna season each side of the patties with some of this hamburger seasoning from McCormick's, some onion powder, and garlic salt. I would love to know what all of you are having for dinner this next week, if you meal plan, or what you've already had for dinner this week. Okay, I'm just gonna get the stove on. Gonna get some water boiling in the back here for the corn on the cob. This is very fresh corn, so it just needs a couple of minutes once the water is boiling. I'm using bluebonnet butter. Just gonna put some in the water for the corn and a little bit in the pan that we're gonna do the over medium eggs in. Rice is warm. I'm just following the package instructions on the back of the McCormick's brown gravy. Y'all let me know what y'all are having this week in the comments. I love to check them. Hey guys, it is Monday and I was craving enchiladas. So I have a little bit of ground beef left from something that I cooked yesterday, and it's only me and the little one home that are gonna be eating the meat. So I'm just gonna cook the ground beef up with this taco seasoning packet, and he just wants a couple of soft tacos on the side, or I may make him a little taco salad with corn chips. And I just want a little salad on the side of my enchiladas, and I am gonna make my daughter some enchiladas too, but of course hers will be separate and won't have any meat. And I'm gonna cook her a few because whatever she has left she can take to work tomorrow or sometime this week, and I have a bigger can of the enchilada sauce. So the thing I'm gonna do is get the ground beef started cooking. I get a lot of questions about my white silicone fork. I bought that off of a link from one of Jen Chapin's videos. She has a blue one. I will leave a link for it in the description box below this video. It's just from Amazon. So my youngest son has had a long weekend at the lake, and he just got home at 7:30 this morning. So he slept some of the day, and he wants 2 soft tacos and a little taco salad. He only likes meat, cheese, and sour cream on all of his stuff. Anytime that he actually wants to eat good, I jump at that opportunity because he doesn't eat really good and he's picky. Get on the rest of this cheese. All right, that's his plate. Just meat, cheese, and sour cream, and for his little taco salad. So I have those in the oven. They really only have to cook long enough for the cheese to melt on the top because everything was already cooked. And I'm just gonna put this enchilada sauce up, and I'll see what I can't do with that one day this week. So I have no explanation for wanting a salad with enchiladas. I just do, so I'm gonna eat one. I think it's the olive making me want the salad. I could eat this entire jar of olives. Well, here they are. There's my daughters. And mine. I'm just going to get my plate fixed and I will show you what it looks like. Alright, that's it. There's my plate. And that's what's for dinner Monday. So on Tuesday I made a chicken pot pie casserole. This is actually one of my cousin's recipes that we used to live with, and since we've moved out I have cooked it a couple of times. It's one of our favorites and we love it, and it's very simple. So the first thing I did was got my chicken strips boiling, and I just added salt to the water, and now I'm dicing 3 small to medium sized potatoes that I've peeled and washed, and I'm gonna get those boiling. And you don't want to cook these too long, just until they're a little tender, because you don't want them to mash when you're trying to mix them with all of the other ingredients. You will need a bag of frozen peas and carrots, and I'm just going to get that put in a bowl and mix it with 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. And you want to keep some of the water that you've cooked the chicken in, because when you get everything mixed up, if it's a little too dry, you can just add some of the water from the pot that you cooked the chicken in, and that way you don't have to use water that's not flavored at all. I'm just going to get this all mixed up really good, and then I drain the potatoes and put them right in the bowl. And like I said before, you don't want to mash the potatoes, so just gently blend them in with the other ingredients. And I did re-salt it because of course potatoes are hard to season, so you want to make sure that you season those really good. And I also added more onion powder. And now I'm just using my little handy dandy hand mixer to shred my chicken. It's so much easier than trying to shred it by hand. This was also something that I saw my cousin doing for the first time, and I was shocked. But it makes everything so much easier. I do it every time now. And now you're just going to add everything to the bowl with the chicken and get it mixed up really well. And at this point is when I noticed that it was a little too dry for my liking, so I just added about 1/4 cup of the hot water from the pot that we cooked the chicken in. And then once you get everything mixed well, just taste it for seasoning, because everything is already cooked. It just needs to be warmed through. Then we're going to put it in a large casserole dish and open up the crescent roll. Put the whole thing over it and kind of tuck it in the sides and push it down. And then we're going to take a sharp knife and poke holes all through it so that the steam has somewhere to release and it can crisp up. And the package directions for the crescent rolls say 375 for 12 to 15 minutes, but I actually cooked this at 375 for a total of 18 to 20 minutes because you want the underneath of the crescent roll that is on top of the vegetables to also crisp up. You don't want that to be doughy. That's it. There's my plate, and like I said, this is one of our favorites. We love it, and I know you will too. On Wednesday night, I made cheeseburger crescent rolls. All you need is ground beef, a roll of crescents, and some shredded cheese. I use the Mexican style. And then the other half pack of that taco seasoning that we had left. And I'm just going to get the ground beef cooked, and then I will add that half pack of taco seasoning to it with a little bit of water and set that on the back burner, turned off, and let it cool a little bit before we put it into the crescent rolls. Okay, so as most of you know, my daughter does not eat meat, so I'm just gonna end up rolling these 4 small ones up for her to just have as crescent rolls with what she eats for dinner on this night. And then I'm gonna put some of the ground beef in the larger part of the crescent roll and then add some cheese and then just roll them over like you would a normal crescent. These were really good. I didn't know if they would turn out, but they did. They turned out really good. And my boys just dipped them in sour cream. And the taco seasoned meat that I had left, I just put in the refrigerator, and when my oldest son got off work at 2:30 that morning and came home, he made him a small taco salad out of it. I just followed the package instructions for cooking the crescent rolls and cooked them at 375 for 12 minutes. And on Thursday night, the boys wanted pizza, so we had a pepperoni and bacon pizza, a cheese bread, and a spinach, pepper, and onion pizza from Papa John's. And after we had pizza, as if we needed more carbs, I made some Pillsbury chocolate chip cookies. Okay, so it is Friday evening and it is 4:30. I have picked through and soaked and cleaned these pintos. So I'm going to get those put in the Instant Pot with 4 cups of water. And I also put an onion in mine just to flavor them. And I don't put any salt in them while they're cooking, because if you do, they won't be as tender. These don't have to be cut any type of way. They're going to cook down anyway, they're just for flavor. So I'll just get those put in there. So I'm just going to put the lid on and make sure that the vent is set to ceiling. And then I'm going to start on pressure cook on high for 30 minutes. I'm gonna start now getting everything else cut up. I'm not cooking any meat tonight. I'm gonna make some homemade macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna cut this green tomato up and try frying it in the air fryer and see how that works. I'm gonna wash these red potatoes really good and roast them in the oven. And then I'm just gonna boil 2 squash and make some little fried cornbread patties. So I cleaned the potatoes really good and then dried them off, and I scrubbed them with a vegetable brush that I got at Walmart. I will link that below if I'm able. We don't mind the peeling staying on our potatoes. Of course, you do what is best for your family, but we don't mind. So I'm just gonna chop these up, and I dried them because I'm gonna put them in the bowl after I cut them up. Then I'm gonna toss them with some olive oil and seasonings before I roast them. I'm just gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil, some black pepper, onion powder. We like a lot of onion powder. And some seasoning salt. We also like a lot of that. Potatoes are very bland. Now I'm just gonna toss them. I will put a link to this little silicone fork in the description box below. I love it. Okay, so I've washed the squash, and I'm just gonna get that put in some boiling water back on the back of the stove. And I just washed it really good with my vegetable brush. All of the vegetables for tonight are from our little trip to the Amish in Tennessee. So if you haven't already saw that produce haul from the Amish, I will link that video in the description box. And y'all can check that out and see our little trip. There goes the Instant Pot. And see our little trip to the Amish and everything that I got. I'm gonna add some blue bonnet butter to the squash and some sea salt. Okay, got that green tomato clean. This is the scrub brush that I use for vegetables from Walmart, and I'll try to link that in the description box. While I'm waiting on the oil to heat up, I'm gonna wash and eat one of my peaches. That peach was so good. Also, I need some ideas on what to do with a purple cabbage. It looked too good not to pick up, but I don't really want to just make a basic like coleslaw out of it. And I don't have any other ideas what I could do with it, but it looked too good not to get. Y'all can thank Christine over at the Frugal Fit Mom for this. I saw these on her Instagram and just had to have one. I think they are adorable. So now for the fried cornbread patties, I just do equal parts 1 cup cornmeal and 1 cup of water. Those are much better and they are very good, but they definitely do not have enough salt. So I'm going to add some more salt to them now. Alright, so we have our from the garden dinner ready. Now roasted red potatoes, homemade macaroni and cheese, garden squash, garden green tomatoes, and I made some fried cornbread patties. Of course, the red potatoes are also from the garden. I cut up some purple onion for me to eat as a side. And I wanted to use something else that we got from the Amish, pickled okra. I love pickled okra. So I will just have that also on the side of my plate. And all of this, I don't remember if I've already said it, but it come from the Amish community in Tennessee. And I will put a link to the produce haul that I did the day that we went there in the description box below. Here are the pintos. And I will show you my plate when I get it ready. And here's my plate. I don't eat macaroni and cheese, so that's the only thing that I cooked that's missing. I have a little bit of everything else. My favorite is going to be the fried green tomatoes and fried cornbread with pintos. Alright, that's it for Friday night. See y'all tomorrow. That's going to wrap up this week's What's for Dinner video. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to go over and check out Bethanie's channel and her What's for Dinner video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of my future videos.